Episode 7. We back at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Big speaker.
It's your boy G White. Your Redemption Podcast, man. We back for another one.
Yes, indeed. And you always remember to say the actual podcast name. I don't. I just remember the episode. So that's good. I owe you redemption.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The brand, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to
Yep.
that, man. So for sure, for sure. Make
Yep.
sure, y'all, before we get into it, make sure, no matter what, y'all continue to like, share, subscribe. You know
Yep.
what I mean? It's been growing every week. We need to keep growing. The only way we're gonna keep it growing is y'all keep talking about it, share it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Put some of these things in practice. Let the people know what's working for you. Let us know. Ask us questions, especially when we do the live sessions. Or if you missed the live sessions, you can jump into commenting on these posts that
Yep.
when we put this on YouTube, we put it on Instagram, we put it on Facebook. Jump under there. We're gonna answer all your questions. So you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the love. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. And I think today, man, is powerful topic.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 7. Living paycheck to paycheck.
E.
Man, I hope this help a lot of people because I don't care how much money you make. Like we talking about this. It don't matter what band you are at, the low end or the very high end, C-suite to janitor, whatever you want to say, you can live paycheck to paycheck at either of the two. Anywhere in between.
Yeah, you really can. And I will say this because we always like to be transparent. I don't personally know too many people that haven't from where we from,
Exactly.
and that's in our families, and including us. At some point in your life, you didn't live paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes even less than paycheck to paycheck. You
Yep.
ain't even make it to paycheck. Accounting the negative since the day that your check dropped.
Yeah.
You got so much coming out of that check in that certain pay period where that your account was in the negative. As soon as they dropped that money in your account at midnight,
Yep.
you
Yep.
woke up, your account was in the negative again,
Yep.
and all it did was just keep you maybe from a disconnect notice, or you know what I mean, or put something with something that so that they didn't disconnect you. You know, it's just uh, we speaking from real perspectives for real people to kind of
Yep.
hit home so we can change the way we live and change the way we think and changing our standards and overall just do better. Just do better. You know what I mean? So I think this is something that a lot of people can relate to. I know we can.
Yep.
Um, and I'm looking forward to getting into it, bro.
So let's start it off with your IOU moment because it's right in tune.
Bet. My all you moment. I keep it simple, man. I'm keeping it simple, but it's not simple, right? Um, Under construction. I speak from the angle of the underdogs. I always speak for the people that are imperfected, the people that are working on themselves, that, no finished products. You know, some of us are further on our journey than others, but we all are work in progress. God's still working on us in certain avenues. So we under construction. Um, and when I'm really, and I look in the mirror, bro, and when I'm really under construction, when I'm really going through something, or I feel like I'm locked in on something, whether it's good, bad, or maybe I'm found myself in a rut or something like that, you will see me delete social media. You will see me black off my profile pictures and stuff. And it's freaked my mom and them out at times where they message me and be like, why is your picture like that? Or why do you got that construction sign up on
Yep.
your stuff? And I never really told nobody that. But I'm under construction right now. I'm working on something. I found myself slipping, or you know what I'm saying, or there's an opportunity right now that you know what I mean. I don't really want to be seen. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go out. I don't want to be around nobody at the time. I'm gonna sit this party out. I'm gonna sit this kickback out. I just gotta lock in. I need to be in my office, need to be in my room, need to be in my book. You know what I mean? I need to just be alone sometime. I'll go outside and sit by myself. I'll go stand in my driveway and just sit there and think. I'm under construction, and this is for the people that's out. A lot of us out there are under construction, but what I'm saying is, it's okay to embrace that and to really dive into that and lock in and be laser focused on those times when you are under construction. And there's different levels within that, but I look at like most of us. probably 95% of us are under construction and trying to build our way to something and work our way to something. So embrace that, understand that, and level up from that. And you know what I mean? I find victory in being under construction. I love when I tell somebody I'm working on something, bro. If you hit me up and say, "Hey, bro, what you up to?" and I'll be like, "Nothing, nothing. We ain't there yet. I'm
Yeah.
always up to something. I'm always up to something. What are you talking about? What you mean you ain't up to nothing? You got some, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got a couple billion in your account or something that I ain't know about. What you mean you ain't up to nothing? You ain't got nothing going. So
Yeah.
under construction, work in progress, y'all. What you got for him, bro?
For sure. Under construction. I like that. And one thing to note about that, under construction, you will know who your true friends are who understand when you're under construction. They won't take it as, you just not messing with them no more. They'll
He being
understand you and
funny.
give you that
Yeah, I get
space.
what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
all right. So, my IOU moment is this: when you have the knowledge, you have the responsibility to speak about it. Okay. So, I set y'all up for this because the last episode we did was called Being the First. And now you understand and you realize that, hey, I'm actually the first in my family or first or whatever to do this. If you're a first African American on the job, if you're a first Hispanic on the job, if you're a first woman on the job, you now have the responsibility to go back to that same demographic and teach them what it took to get there and how do you succeed at that level.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. It's that simple. Whatever it is you have that knowledge with, you've been blessed with that knowledge, you are now held responsible to speak about it, to help other people. Don't hold anything back. You got to help the people.
Yeah. Speak about it. Just like you said, be proud. Um, understand the obligation because if you don't say nothing, okay, let's say, okay, there's a lot of people out there. They're born, they're accomplishing things, they don't really know, or maybe they don't look at what they're doing as special, even though it is, right? So they don't
Yeah.
even say anything about it. They don't say nothing about it. They don't want to offend anybody that's around them. They don't want to become the
Yeah.
outcast, the black sheep of the family. They don't want people to start looking at them like they're not humble or whatever, all those, et ceteras, et ceteras. So they
Hmm.
keep their mouth shut. They put their head down. They don't make no waves. You know what I mean? They don't tell anybody. They don't mentor anybody in like the youth in the family or just even the elders or anybody. They don't talk about it because they don't want that riff. They don't want that
Yeah.
type of attention. I tell you what, don't worry about that because you will run into that. Okay, that's the inevitable. You're going to run into the people, like we said before, that aren't happy that you've done what you're doing in your life. But then you may have those little cousins, those nieces, those nephews, that next generation, or that
Anybody.
elder that understands that they can still learn. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you miss your beat connecting with them because you're worried about the others. There will always be the others. There's no, you know what I mean? There will always be the others in everything that you do. So what I'm saying is lock in, like you say, you have a responsibility to speak about it because that's your legacy. That's a
Yep.
part of your legacy. When you leave this earth, they're going to talk about what you did while you were here. We need to know if you were the first person in your family. Be proud of if you got a business off of the ground or you know what I mean? You did something different and changed and impacted something and dedicated to yourself because you never know who that could inspire and
Yeah.
who will be looking to you or who's you know what I mean? If somebody in your close circle, bro, I noticed this. You could actually save somebody's life. What do I mean by that?
That's the yeah.
Go ahead.
That's the point about this.
You can
That's the
save somebody's life.
yeah.
You can
You can
save
save
somebody's life.
somebody's life by giving them some
Yes.
enlightening details on
Yes.
what they need to do to better their life, better their career, better their thought process,
Mm-hmm.
save them from making bad decisions. Like you can help them, but you have to speak about it. If and again, this is why most people start off being the first because you had the knowledge in the first place and you didn't pass it along. You didn't speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to break that cycle.
Yeah, I remember growing up, and it's crazy because we seen a lot. We seen whatever we saw growing up, right in the hood. You see
Yeah.
whatever you saw, and I promise, I wanted, and I touched on this a little bit early on, telling the folks that I wanted everything that I saw. I just didn't want to do what I was the same things I saw. It was taken to get that right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not knocking, right? Everybody just trying to survive. Everybody trying to survive. But what I'm saying is, I wanted to personally be that other option, right? So I am loud and proud. I am very active in the community. We never hoard information. Look at the podcast in itself. We give game, and we love sharing things, because if you
Yeah.
are from certain realms, I want you to see both perspectives. You're going to see that person on your block, that person on your corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe that person in your family that's maybe doing some other things, and I'll leave that there. But what I would say is, now you can see another option. Some other guys from that's
Yeah.
around the way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a tape. You got side A on the tape, you got side B. You know what I'm saying? Both some music you gonna bump, but it may just be a different delivery.
Yeah.
We that other option, and I've always wanted to be that other option. So that comes with sharing, knowing that responsibility. You know what I mean? And being proud of that and wearing that. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. That's a good IOU, bro. Definitely, for sure, for sure.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck, man.
Mm, that's now we getting into the mud with it.
The
This to the
first
core right here.
the first point here, underpaid. So I'll kick this one off with the understanding of where we're coming from this about this. So when we talk about living paycheck to paycheck, we believe there are some fundamental areas that will enable a person to live paycheck to paycheck. And one of which is being underpaid. Now, I'm speaking on this on the behalf of just knowing that, like I said, it doesn't matter which band of the spectrum you're on. If you making only $30,000 a year or whatever, or a person that's making $200,000 a year, it really doesn't matter which band of the spectrum you're on,
Hmm.
because the mindset can have you living, like you said, less than paycheck to paycheck. But at the core, the fundamental problem, before we even start making decisions of buying yachts and boats and things to be able to have 200, $300,000 a year and still be living paycheck to paycheck, the core problem is being underpaid. So before you even able to buy that type of expensive stuff, you're underpaid from the get go. See what I'm saying? And I think that most people who don't have a specialized skill, we always, like, back in the slavery days, they used to say. Actually, I was watching Malcolm X a couple of
Okay.
days ago. Right, I was watching on
My
a
man.
plane back from Mexico, and it's funny because I'm just digress a little bit. I turned on Malcolm X, and somebody was behind me. I don't have to say
Yeah.
who, but he just looking. And I was like, "This is good." So you can see what's going on here, right? So, but underpaid, they were like in Malcolm X. It was one scene where basically little kids were saying what they wanted to do, what they wanted to grow up to be, and the Caucasian male was like, "You can't do that. People of color are only good with their hands. They're good doing stuff with their hands."
Mm.
Okay, so what I mean by underpaid is that if you look at the skills and the trades out there that are underpaid, they're all like using their hands to do something. So we talk, and I have the greatest compassion for people like, if like we go on cruises and the stewards that come around and clean your room while you're gone. I have great compassion for them because I mean, they're doing like dirty jobs. They're doing stuff that's often overlooked in society that we need to stay afloat.
We
I
need
talk
all that.
about I talk about it all the time when people used to say about the Hispanics crossing the border, this and that, talking about them. I'm like, dude, they build like everything here in America for us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a lot of this stuff because they're doing the work for it. So, but what I'm saying about this is that they are notoriously underpaid. The people
Yeah.
who are using their hands there to do things like in-home care, even the teachers that's teaching the students. That's another pet peeve of mine. Like military personnel. Think about it. Military personnel and teachers are the front line for our future, right? They're teaching our
Right.
kids. Now that you teach you having teachers having to play I don't know, cop or something in the school to protect your kids from active shooter situations. You asking police officers to be uh conflict mediators, psychologists, and all this. So and they're severely underpaid.
Bro, pause. I had a cop. I mean, not a cop. I had a teacher that pulled me to the side and asked me, could he work for me?
See what
Could
I'm
could
saying?
could you know what I mean? And he loved teaching kids. He has a passion for it. But he said it's hard to pay the bills.
Yes.
It's hard to pay the bills. You know, that's crazy. That's a special gift to be able to want to teach somebody else's kids. You know what I mean?
You got to
And to
put
be
up
able
with
to break down
everything.
stuff so everybody, other kids can understand it, man.
Yes.
Teachers really should get paid.
Mm.
Our teachers should get paid like doctors to me, bro.
Oh,
Like,
if you're gonna say that, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't like the fact that professional athletes get paid all that money. When we talking like $100 million contracts, and we talking about a teacher who's struggling to make it, that's gonna cross 10 generation of kids. That's trying, you know what I'm saying? It's just such a like a gap in inequality.
that's why we got to get them lists every year. My parents out there, y'all know that we get that list at the beginning of the school that your kids need. You got to get all them hand sanitizers, all them
Yeah, now we
notepads, all
gotta
the
we
stuff.
gotta help them do stuff like
Yeah,
that.
all them packs of pencils and stuff. That's not just for your kid. That's because the teachers can't afford
Struggling,
that for the whole classroom. So they need all the parents of the kids to chip in to get through the school year. Because if they don't, that's gonna come out of their salaries. It's crazy.
right? So that's what I mean by severely underpaid. The hands, the careers that you actually using your hands, your physical nature to produce something out of it. You're severely underpaid. And I think that how do we get out there? Because we need teachers, we need military professionals, we need police officers, we need housekeeping professionals. We need these things. And I'm not just saying like that you shouldn't pursue those roles, but I need people to understand that when you select certain, service, hospitality, whatever it is, whatever sector it is, you have to understand that I know where your heart is when you're trying to help people, but you're going to be severely underpaid. So
Right.
here's what I'm trying to get people to think. I'm not saying stop that job, but I want you to be cognizant, be mindful that you're going to be underpaid. And this will
Mhm.
connect later on when we make the other points. But if you go into this thing knowing that you're going to be underpaid, the lifestyle choices that you make and think and the habits that you pursue will be better aligned with your underpayment. And
Yeah.
then you won't be living so paycheck to paycheck because I do this type of profession. I know what they're going to give me. I might not be able to do this type of stuff over here. But the same token, you knowing that will allow you to say, hey, I know I'm doing this, I'm working on this, but I can also pursue this to have this skill set behind me. That's what I want people to know, to train your mindset based on what you producing.
Yeah. And I mean, that's some good points, bro. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. So here's a couple things when I think of why a lot of people are underpaid. On top of what you're saying, I'm not taking from that. On top of that, right?
Mhm.
Because most people, most people of color, black and brown, blacks and Hispanics, specifically, um, we make up a lot of the manufacturing jobs. We make up a lot of the skilled labors jobs, right? And it's always been that way. It's always been that way. And that's because of just kind of the dynamic of where we come from. It started with education. It come with different things of that nature, right? So before we became the doctors, the lawyers, or whatever else like that, it was easy to become a field hand or to be a builder, be a carpenter, be a brick mason,
Yeah.
to to do landscape and things of that nature. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's money in all of that. But we're talking about specifically being underpaid. A couple of things that I think about, and I'm trying not to get too far in the weeds because I'm really a geek when it comes to compensation and people making money and understanding. Because I look at me and you, and I could say me and you because by definition and by degree, you are a engineer,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. I am a business major. Okay. So there's two different brackets already, right? Now, what I mean by that is whether you're an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, people know that they have to come somewhat correct
Yeah.
as long as you know your own worth, right?
Yeah.
But they know I can't go give a doctor, an RN, or I can't go give a an engineer. I
Yeah.
gotta, I gotta, I gotta make it worth his while or her while. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're
So,
going with this. Yeah.
so with me in management and leadership and business, that's so broad. So I've had to figure out ways to get myself up there so that I know my value, right? So, okay. So if you're a landscaper, okay, nothing wrong with that. Want to not be underpaid? Become the best in that field, right? So what I had to do is, okay, I like to lead people. I consider myself a leader. I have a strong business acumen. I want to be the best. I want to be able to lead small teams. I've done that, one or two people. I want to be able to lead large teams. I've led over 100 people. I want to be able to manage union employees. I've done that. I want to be able to manage non-union employees. I want to be a solid individual contributor. I've done all of that. Right. So now I've added these skills to myself in this type of range to where you have to write a certain type of number on a piece of paper. You understand what I mean? But I had to go through that process of that because I found myself early on into my career being underpaid. And guess what? It's easy to underpay a lot of minorities because most of us just want to make more money than we heard in our households, in our neighborhoods, in our social circles, whatever that is, right? I'm gonna break it down in its simplest form.
Say that again. I like because you got most minorities
Most
are severely
minorities,
underpaid
we are
be-
severely underpaid because
because no
yeah,
because
because no, because most minorities are severely underpaid because we just want to make whatever that amount of money is that was talked about in our house, our
yeah
neighborhoods, or in our social circles. So that's what we're
yeah
psychologically we're measuring ourselves, whatever that amount is, off the rip. So if everybody in your family
yeah
made $10 an hour and they were able to raise their kids, put food on the table, y'all took a little trip every now and again, went to a carnivore tour, whatever. Y'all, by definition, you're not living on the street. Some people like that's a good life. Okay. So you come along and you get a $15 job offer, $15 an hour. Oh man, you done made it. Mentally, you're like, I made more money. I'm making more money now than everybody in my family, right? And you still may be underpaid. Get what you're truly worth. And you know how? And this is going to hit people. And I want y'all to listen real quick with this one. A quick way to stop being underpaid and to know your worth, do your homework. Do your homework.
What does that
Understand what
mean?
okay, we got these smartphones, we got this internet, you got the libraries. Okay, know what the industry standard is paying for that position. The global,
Yeah.
not local. Look at both of them, locally, regionally, and globally. What are they paying for this position? What does an operations manager make? What does a shift manager make? What is a crew lead of this? What does an HVAC technician make here? What does an electrician make here? You understand what I'm saying? What does a degreed engineer make versus a non-degreed engineer make?
Yeah.
Because I've worked with degreed engineers and non-degreed engineers, and they make different amounts of money.
Yeah.
Go get your professional engineer's license. That's a whole nother bracket they
A
put you
whole
in.
nother bracket.
Do your homework on what your skills are, what you got, what your field is in, and then that'll let you know. So don't wait, because business is business. People are gonna try to get over on you. You understand what I'm saying? And I've been in positions where people have gotten over on me, and I had to hurry up and find out and
Yeah.
and get that adjustment made or depart from that situation. You know what
This
I
is why
mean?
they tell you to keep quiet. Keep your salary, your pay quiet
Don't
because
talk about it. Yes.
they know. Yes. And
Yes.
then
Yes.
when you find out what somebody else made, you're gonna be hot and then yes. So that's
And
why
a
they tell
lot
you
of
that.
people and a lot of people of color fall for this. That's a fact. That's not an
Yes.
opinion. That's a fact, because the powers that be know that most of us don't come from wealthy, educated families.
And we
So,
don't know no better. We don't
and we
know we
don't
don't
know no
know.
better. Give him more than what he know about. Give him more than give him a little bit more than the average. And I bet he'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
He probably gonna be making more money than everybody in his family. He gonna be cool. But you still may be down 100 points from what that industry standard is or what you're really worth.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Being underpaid, bro. We a lot of us have fallen victim for a lot of people right now. You're being
Lot of-
underpaid,
yeah.
and,
And
and you
some
can
of it is by default, like women
yes,
gonna be underpaid off the back just
yes,
because you're a woman. That's just that ceiling, that glass ceiling they try to put.
yes, yes.
Um,
And we counsel. We tell people all the time, especially now that we know. We've told people like, nah. I tell people, nah, you can get more than that. Nah, counter that, or send
yeah,
that back, or you know what I'm saying. Different things like that. But you have to, you know what I mean. You have to know your skill. And I would just say the quickest way not to be underpaid, though, is to figure out how you could be the best in whatever that field is, and to educate yourself.
I think that's the main key here. That like if when I'm looking at these different stories and these different experiences, the underlying principle here is you have to get more educated.
Yes.
Like you have to get more content under your belt. You have to know more things.
Yeah.
People are going to pay you for what you know. If you can't talk to someone in an intellectual way, you're not going to get paid much. So if I can tell you that if you are a janitor, there's a story about janitors out there who went to be okay, so there was a janitor for Kodak, the company Kodak, not Kodak Black, the company Kodak. You know, she was a janitor. She started off as a janitor, ended up being the chief technology officer.
Mm,
There's stories about people I know that I used to work with at the steel mills who came in sweeping floors, ended up being a plant owner.
I've seen that.
Like, so it's because they cashed in on content. They were able to understand things they needed to know to get further in their careers. I'm just telling you that the first step to stop living paycheck to paycheck is to stop being underpaid.
Yep. Get your worth,
So
know your worth. Get your worth and know your worth. For
yeah,
sure, for sure. You got to know your worth. That's number one, bro. That was powerful.
Number two, survival mode. So back into what you were just saying and how I'm gonna transition this is that when you're severely underpaid, this is what happens. You're gonna want to find a new job because after you figure this thing out and you say, "Hey, I'm still like I'm struggling out here. I need something more." So you're gonna be like, the next job that comes through, bet this is a lifesaver. I need this when they pay me $2 extra.
Right.
Okay, you're in survival mode because you're trying to figure this thing out, and you're basically gonna accept whatever extra dollar comes your way. You might have just accepted that extra $2 along with 8 extra hours each day. See what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by survival mode is that you can never get to a place where you want to be in life if you steady trying to fight the cycle of paycheck to paycheck, and I call that survival mode because you have no other room to think and be creative. You have no other room to formulate your own ideas and
Yep.
cash in on content like you need to. You don't have any room to study a biography of an individual that you like, that you like their lifestyle. You don't have no time for that because you're in survival mode. You got to get out of survival mode in order to make these changes. That's how you get out of being underpaid. So the first thing is you have to know that you're going into this job, this situation, you're going to be underpaid. Transition your lifestyle and your habits to that knowledge that you have. And you have that knowledge, understand that you got to get out of that survival mode to get out of being underpaid.
Yeah. And when I think about survival mode, like we touched on before, you either thriving or surviving in this life, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we're gonna talk about survival mode real quick. Survival mode, and I just want people to think about this. If if you don't add skills and value to yourself, I say it one more time, skills and value to yourself, you will find yourself in survival mode. You will have very little say so over your life. People like to say that slave culture and mentality and things like that, you really gonna find yourself in the thick of it because you're in that survival mode because you haven't added those skills or values to yourself or value to yourself. You're not gonna be able to negotiate a salary. You're not gonna be able to
Wait, right
talk.
there. You're not going to
You
be
know,
able to negotiate a salary because you
no,
accept what they giving you because you
you got
need it.
you have to take
You
it.
have to take it.
You have to take the salary. You have to take the shift.
Yes.
You have to take the vacation time. You
Whatever
have
they
to take
tell
that
you.
insurance. You have to take it all.
No, no, no. You have to take no insurance. You have to take this job
Yeah,
with no
yeah, with
insurance,
no,
no benefits,
yeah,
no nothing.
yeah, yeah. You have to take all of it because you're in survival mode and you need that, and they know you need that because of how you're talking, how you carrying yourself, what your resume says, some of the skills you
Yes.
may have, the things you don't have. So they know you need them more than they need you,
Yes.
and they're gonna treat you as such.
You have no leverage.
You have zero leverage. You're gonna take whatever we give you. You will be the
Yes.
lowest paid person on this job, and we know it. And you're gonna do it with a smile, and you're gonna be here every day. Oh,
Yes.
and you're not gonna have no vacation time. And if you do got some vacation time, you can't even afford to take a vacation because I'm not gonna pay you enough to be able to take you or your family anywhere. You're gonna take a vacation from the couch.
And I want to make this clear because I brought up the service industry because if you notice, they're always the lower end employees, as you would say. They treat them like they're supposed to be this pristine group. Like they're gonna make sure,
Essential
yeah,
workers.
like make sure your shirt is wrinkle free, no lint on. It's like you gotta be you're low on the totem pole, but they
Yes.
treat
Yeah.
you like you gotta be this high quality, like you gotta be the best of the best, but they're not paying you like that.
Nope. I've seen that, bro. I've seen that with people with a very low salary, and they gotta really dress up every single, like, dress to the nine
Yeah,
every day. You know what I mean? You got to wear the suits and whatever else, and the company is not even compensating you to be able to even afford that wardrobe or
man. Let's hold on, G White. I don't mean to cut you off, but you bring up so many amazing points. The first point is my first when I was doing interviews back in college, I had to go. I went to the Goodwill to buy my ties and shirts,
hey,
and I
we
still got some of those today.
hey, let's bust their heads then. Let's bust their
Listen,
heads. I've listen. Hold on.
I told,
I do this on purpose. They want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. I interview on purpose sometimes with stuff from the Goodwill,
yes, yes,
just so I could tell people, just so I can mentor people and tell you it's about your skill. It's about different things when we talk about
yeah,
interviewing, to where, you know what I mean. Um,
yeah,
but it also comes from an upbringing. I've shopped at the Goodwill, the secondhand stores, and
yeah,
all that. I know how to go in there and put a fit together, boy. Like, you understand
yeah,
what I'm saying? I really can. So I can go in there. I can go in Saks Fifths.
yeah,
Hey, so you absolutely correct, man. And but it's that survival mode that and hey, y'all, ain't nothing wrong with. Well, I won't say nothing wrong with. We all trying to survive in some form or fashion.
yeah.
We are trying to survive.
But you can't be
Okay.
stuck in that mode.
You can't be stuck in that mode. You got to switch that to the thriving mode, because the surviving mode, you can find yourself in there for a very long time. And then you wonder why, maybe you're dealing with maybe some of the mental health issues that you may be dealing with, or stuck in some of those ruts and stuck in the mud, the tires spinning. You know what I mean? And I guess here's another thing what society doesn't teach you, bro,
Mm.
especially when we talk about formal education and trade schools, or having a plan, not having a plan, or whatever. People don't tell people the truth when they're trying to guide some of the youth or the next generation. They tell them, hey, well, if you don't do this or do that, just know you ain't gonna have no life. Just know you're not gonna be able to, like you said, talk about which shift you want, talk about, what type of wage you will accept or won't accept or whatever else. You
Because we're
won't have any
blinded
of that.
by the money.
We are.
Nobody ever says that because we're blinded by the money. We
Yes,
get
because
the
we just,
money that we think is good and we're fine. We don't have see, this is what I was talking about. Focus on the reward and not the difficulty in
yeah,
obtaining the reward.
yeah,
They get the reward. So they don't care about talking about what they had to do to get it. They aren't gonna
yeah.
tell you the 80 hours in overtime.
No.
They gonna say overtime. People always say time and a half. They don't say grueling work over. You notice that? People complain about going to work, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when they got to do overtime, which is more time going to work, they don't complain about it. They say time and a half
Or
because
that's
they
double
look at the
time.
reward. It double
Yeah,
time. They look at the
yeah,
reward. You see what I'm saying? So we're
yeah.
never gonna have nobody that tells us that what you're explaining because they see the reward there.
Man, look, you get more benefits. Before we move on, I would say a lot in most cases, you will get more benefits. Benefit of when I talk about the money of it, when you talk about working my 40 hours and we talking about working some overtime, whatever. If you take that 40 that the company give you or whatever, and that rest of that time, you figure out for yourself, you build something on yourself, whether that's an additional stream of income, you able to provide some type of service for someone, you got another set of skills, you know what I mean? um you will make more, probably 90% of the time, than you would have clocking in that extra 20 hours a week on that other job to make that 60 hours or make it 80 hours. You get what I'm saying? And it's going to hit different because you're investing in yourself. So you're not even looking at the clock like you would at your regular job, or hiding on the toilet like people be doing. People people be hiding on the
Here's
toilet
the
till
thing.
they legs go numb on
Yeah.
jobs that they hate. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that when you're living in your purpose. You're not doing that when you're grinding really to build your brand, right? For your family, for your friends,
Yeah.
and to better your situation. So working late at night, that won't you won't mind that when you're doing something for yourself. Um, just and I'm sure people can relate to that too. So
Here,
survival mode for sure.
here's what I'm gonna say about this is that people are gonna say it's hard for them to have the time to be creative, to do other things, to do something on their own to make, because a lot of people have that. Like some people will have like eyelash business on the side or whatever it is on the side, right?
Yeah,
But here's the key point that I'm trying to make to people is that that job that you have on the side, whatever it is probably not creating the stability that you want to have right now. So your breadwinner, your main job is really like your breadwinner. That's what you have to go for.
yeah,
So it's a constant battle right there. I understand that. The other portion of this is I rather for somebody struggle on that level of creating their own business or doing something of their own talent versus going out and doing Uber Eats, uh, doing Uber itself, doing just another 9 to 5 job, because that's doing nothing but draining you. And it's not giving you what you need. You think you're gonna make ends meet by getting the extra income, but it's really not. It's setting you back because you're not able to move forward with anything. You're not able to gain any new skills. You're just doing what you're doing is you added another required piece of hands that you have to go use. You understand what I'm saying? You're doing this 9 to 5, and then you go do something else that also requires you to be physically present and use your hands. You
hmm
didn't gain anything from that. You're not gaining no knowledge. The main point here is that people have to understand the bottom line is you got to educate yourself. This is the common denominator here. That think about it. If we all educated, if we have some type of, I don't know, degree, some type of skill, you might be a great communicator. You have to have some type of specialized skill to be respected. And they don't have no choice but to pay you. You're gonna
yes,
find some type of job that's gonna pay you. And guess
you're gonna
what?
have to.
That's the kicker. The reason why you can't get out of that rut is because you can't find a job that's like decent enough that allows you to release yourself from work to actually go do
hmm
something on your own. See what I'm
hmm
saying? You have to increase your skill set in some way. That is the only way to get out of this.
Facts. Increase your skills. Increase your skills. Come up with a plan and figure out no matter what that is, right? Because again, before we move on, some professions, some lines that you get in, some of them will be off the rip more lucrative than others. That's a fact. Um, Higher skills or whatever, you know, a brain surgeon. Um, it don't matter where you're at. If you're a brain surgeon, you're probably gonna get paid a lot of money. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? They know they have to cut you a big check. But everybody, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to get brain surgeon money.
Yes.
You don't
You
have
don't
to
have to.
if you are focused on being the best. Some people I know don't want to be an entrepreneur.
And that's
I know
fine.
everybody, right, and everybody don't want to be a boss, and that's fine too. Take different strokes for different folks, but I think we all should strive to be the best at whatever it is we doing. And if I feel like
Yeah.
if you work smart, you work hard, and you are truly the best at whatever you're doing, your money will come. If we're
I'm
talking
telling
money,
you,
your money gonna come. You gonna get your money.
you're
You
gonna
gonna
be the
get your money.
lead or something. Yeah.
Something, something. You understand what I'm saying? I've had people. Okay, I've had people work for me that were equivalent to engineer, not an engineer, but equivalent. When I was working in the manufacturing facility, they were equivalent to what an engineer does. But they weren't an engineer. This guy had a high school education, but he was the best. He knew the machines like nobody else.
Yeah.
He could program like nobody else, troubleshoot like nobody else. He was literally the best. So look, he was up. He got all the overtime he wanted. We used to joke and be like, man, Larry write his own check. Larry got a blank check and he just filling the numbers. He come in early. He get to leave late. He get to do whatever he wants to do. And guess what? When new machines was coming from Germany, you got all these other people in the company that could have went or whatever. Guess who they sent? They sent Larry, the one with the college, the high school education.
No college education, high school
Zero.
only.
High school only.
And
Not
that's
even
what
an
I
engineer.
yes,
Not even a member of management. They sent
man,
Larry to Germany for 10
dude,
weeks. 10
dude.
weeks to learn the machine, to bring it back to the States, to put it in the plant. And guess what? Larry, the only person, which I told them that's a whole nother subject, to just send one person because Larry could pass away or something. And then now you stuck. You don't know how to run that
Technical
machine. What?
debt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is he was and still is the best at what he does. And he's still writing his own checks
that's
and
what I want
making
people.
big money.
That's what I want people to know. People always trying to associate. You like you don't have to go get a degree. That's not what we
Nah.
saying. We're trying to tell you that you have to increase your knowledge about something. If you like he said, if he that person on the floor that's not a degree engineer, he's probably a tech. That's
Mm-hmm.
hands. But he said, I'm gonna know this equipment better than anybody in here, engineers, whoever else. I'm gonna do it
Mm-hmm.
without that. And so when you
Mm-hmm.
in these like you in the nursing field, you in home nursing, you find out the best process to take care of patients. You find that out, and you're gonna have everybody coming to you asking you for questions. You a teacher, and you underpaid. You find out the best way to teach them students the better processes of doing math. They have crazy ways of doing math right now. I see it. You find the best way to teach them, and you gonna listen. That's what I mean by this. You can write your own ticket out of this
Yeah.
funk, like this cycle of paycheck to paycheck, underpaid is
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. We
What's
go on and on about this
survival mode? Let's move forward.
survival mode,
What
man.
else we got for him, man?
This social media pressure. So
Ooh,
okay, so and
pressure
this is
bus
where I want to
pipe.
bring up the different bands, 100,000 or six figures, 30,000, whatever.
Right.
Because because you will do this. After you find yourself, you get out of this position of being underpaid, and after you find yourself out of that survival mode, you're gonna get to a position where you're okay now. Like
Mm-hmm.
things are moving along, you in your creative space, you doing things, you got life is in order, you got things flowing. And then there's social media. So you log on to Instagram. Like I like to look at Floyd Mayweather because I say to myself, he's is motivation what he does. I really don't get into all the propaganda and the different things that might be going on. I just say that this is a human and he's able to accomplish all these things and have all these things and do what he want. I just like that. But I never go into the situation and say, oh, I gotta go get me a Bentley now because he's got one. I gotta go get
Nah.
Louis Vuitton because he got it. No, social media pressure is dangerous
Yes.
because you just work so hard to become. And first of all, this is why some people will live paycheck to paycheck is because of social media influence.
And don't forget, people, we are tying this to how you living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes,
The
this is
social
all
media
tied
pressure,
into it.
definitely,
Is why
definitely.
everybody is gonna look lit on social media because
Boy,
that's what the platform is for. Nobody's gonna
boy.
get on. Most there are some people, but most people are gonna get on there and they're gonna show their life at a heightened level. I want to like it's almost like you playing a video game. You create your own player, NBA 2K or something. You're gonna create your player to be 6'6", muscular, whatever else, like
Yeah,
the best out there.
yeah,
So when I
yeah.
post my pictures on online, I'm posting the best I got.
Yes.
And so you on the other side as a user and you viewing these profiles on there, you have to understand that it's not reality,
No.
right? It's not. So you can't fall into the trap of doing what they do, because you're going to put yourself back into living paycheck to paycheck. That's why the key point about this is, which we'll get into later, is about your lifestyle and your habits.
Yeah.
How do you focus on your lifestyle and your habits?
So exactly. And when I talk about social media pressure and paycheck to paycheck, you hit on a couple things that I was thinking about. Down to your clothes, trying
Yeah.
to wear what other people wear and do what they do. But you may not even be in the same type of social circles that they are in. So why do you need to why do you need to have all the Gucci, all the Louis, all of this, all that, when that doesn't even fit
Yeah.
your social group? Like you know what I mean? You don't need that stuff, but social media will tell you that. And you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck because you're trying to keep up with the clothes. The cars. Look how many people we know out there with, and I'm not trying to be funny, but a popular car that people are stealing nowadays and breaking into is them scat packs,
Yep.
is them Hellcats, and everything else. Some of y'all don't even want to drive fast. Y'all scared. Y'all don't really even know about the car, but you got it because it's trendy. And that's what social media tell you. And you
Yeah.
really can't, everybody that got them can't afford them because they come with a nice little price tag.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So social media tell you because the girls like it, and all the guys got it, and
Yep.
whatever else tell you, man, you got to get you a scat pack. You got to get you a scat. You got to get you,
People
man.
walking
Listen,
around with their keychain on their pants, showing it like
yeah, and
it's
look,
just
you can't afford it. You ain't there yet, and you got a car that everybody looking to steal right now. They'll walk past. They'll walk past almost the $75,000-$80,000 truck
yeah,
to get
not
to
even understanding.
the $50,000-$60,000 scat pack because it's trendy. You know what
Because
I'm
it's
saying? And,
trendy.
and again, the paycheck to paycheck. I want to dive into something else when I think about living paycheck to paycheck when social media pressure. Living locations and conditions. What do I mean by that? I know people personally that live in places they can't afford because it looks good with a hashtag. It looks good when they do their filters on Snapchat. They can go swipe left, swipe right, and it says some part of California, some part of New York City, and whatever else. You know what I mean? And the rent is astronomical, and you're not there yet, right? But you want people to believe it because of what you see on social media. It looked good, right? And that's why I preach to people: live somewhere you can afford. You know, we live in, this is 2024. We can jump on a plane and go anywhere. Traveling is at an all-time high. Everybody traveling now. You get what I'm saying? But where you lay your head, don't let social media trick you out your spot. If you ain't there yet, you ain't there yet. If you can only afford to go visit
Yeah.
that place, just go visit that place and get back to where you can afford, where the
Yeah.
cost of living is matches what your income is right now. You know what I'm saying? Work your way up, and then when you really boss up, because I hope everybody get there, whatever that is in your head, you'll be able to go to some of those places. And you ain't faking it till you make it no more. You really done made it. So,
Yeah.
you know, with social media, don't even influence what you did. The work you done put in influence where you able to live and what you able to buy and what clothes you able to wear and whatever else. It has nothing to do with social media. So when I talk about paycheck to paycheck, I know plenty of people that are living paycheck to paycheck, and a big chunk of that is because you're living above your means and including places you can't afford to even live. And that's what I got to say about social media,
Yeah,
man. For sure.
yeah, like social media, the pressure is making people question their own lives. It's like people who are really out here trying to hustle and maintain and keep their head above water, and they log on to social media and they looking at these people, they questioning their lives. Like, what am I doing wrong?
Bruh, I had
And it's
somebody hold on. I had somebody call me before, and y'all know I don't drop names. And I love this person. I had somebody call me before. They were in Miami and they was partying and kicking it with a lot of people that we know. And they hit me up. Hey, G White, man, I can get a couple $100 so I, till I get back home and woo woo. I'm like, no, dude, I got a whole family to support. Like, I ain't nah.
Yeah.
But look, but on social media, you looking lit. They telling you that you trying to do that. You probably it's okay to be like, no, I'm not going out. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm gonna sit this trip out because now you out there can't even get back home. You went out there on a one-way ticket or something. You know what I'm saying? And because you trying to live up to social media and maybe your social surrounding, you know you already kind of messed up financially. Now you need somebody to bail you out. Okay, and then if that
Yeah.
person don't bail you out, now that person ain't real. Now that person the bad guy. You need me, and I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be able to do it right now. So now you put your stuff on me. Now our relationship is messed up. Now our relationship is messed up because I done put you in a spot. And all I had to
Yeah.
do was chill out, be confident with who I am, and know, you know what I mean? My time to shine may not be right now. I ain't put the work in to be able to go out of town with you right now. So if you called me and said, hey, bro, I'm gonna go to Tokyo for 2 months. We leaving on Sunday. I'm gonna tell you no. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you no. I can't afford to go to Tokyo for 2 months right now. I got too much. I got to be boots on the ground right now, bro. See you when I get back. When you get
Yeah.
back, take pictures for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what you think about me.
So you
I
know
don't care what that
what's
look like.
like when Chelsea and I were in Mexico,
Yeah.
um, when we were out at the resort we were at, it was like, I'm not bragging about this. It's just I'm able to do this now. But it was like a 4-star resort, and then we went over next door to because we was out there for a wedding as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 5-star resort. I personally didn't want to stay at the 5-star resort because I saved half of the money staying next door, and it was the same amenities. It just, again, I really don't care about that, but um, we didn't see no black people, and I'm just putting that out there. I kid you not. Listen, Greg. One time we did see a black couple. Chelsea seen them first. And then I looked and I was like, he was like, the dude said this. He was like, surprise, surprise.
Ah.
You understand what I'm saying? He said, surprise, surprise. He's like, yep, we
Dog.
here too.
Yeah.
Dog. And then listen,
It's that. You ain't even
when
gotta
we was in
say
the
it. You just.
listen, when we was in the airport, I seen the greatest shirt I ever seen in my life. This black woman was wearing a shirt that said, yes, I know I'm rare.
Mm.
You understand what's going on here? And I'm bringing this up because social media again. Where we were staying at is very, very nice place. Very is okay. So you ever see that commercial? Come down. You know the beach commercial, right?
Yeah.
Now all the people on social media and everything they want to go to that place, right?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
nobody want to go to the other places that's just as good. But
Bro.
they see what they see and they want to go there. That's why advertising is so powerful. So
Listen, it go down to tequilas and everything. What they?
yes,
What's the what?
tequilas and
What's the one
everything.
that was
Listen,
popping?
Casamigos. Listen, I used to get
Yeah.
Casamigos in Austin for like $20, like dirt cheap. Like, and now I'm like, what? That's how
Yes.
much?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. So listen, so we at the resort. There's no black people,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't see none the whole time we was there. We get back to the airport, black people everywhere coming checking, like going back to the U.S. We like at Cancun. We like what? So
Like,
we
where was y'all
realized
all
we
at?
like, dude, all these people was at like the trendy places that people
Mm-hmm.
posting on social media. Like people always talk about Tulum, right? People
Mm-hmm.
they going to Tulum and stuff. See, social media pressure is so dangerous because it inflicts decisions on your life that you're not even ready for.
Yeah.
You're not even there for that yet. You can't.
You- They damn near
You.
don't even want to go, bro, if people don't know about it. They like, you
Yes,
get what I'm saying?
exactly.
They'll run their card up because they'll be like, like you said, the other place over
Mhm.
here, just as nice, same amenities within my budget. You feel what I'm saying? Everything, but look, don't nobody know about that. They ain't gonna know where I'm at, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go.
exactly.
I'm gonna go
You ain't
run
even
my
in the
credit card
scene.
bill up to go over here to this other resort because
Yes,
that yeah, so people can really know or really think
yes,
I'm getting money and I'm on that level, and I'm
yes.
really not on that level.
You're not
And,
even ready for it. And this is what it leads into right here, the
yeah,
bands, because the different bands of income. I'm gonna stop talking about the people who make $30,000. We consider that the lower end, as society would say. Well, then talk about the people who make 100,000, 150, $200,000 a year. They live paycheck to paycheck too, because
if they're making the wrong decisions, for
they
sure.
making the wrong decisions. And again, social
Yes.
media influencers, just like what you just saying, they going out doing things uncharacteristic. And it's just like if you making $200,000 a year, but you getting private jets and you getting this and that, you're no different from a person that's making $30,000 a year that's taking care of the money. You just make more than them on paper, but the cash flow in and out is the same.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. That's why I'm trying to tell people with this, living paycheck to paycheck doesn't matter about your income. It is
No.
not dependent on that. It's about your lifestyle and your habits.
Yes. A person that's making $50,000 can live better than a person that's making $500,000.
Yes,
That's facts.
absolutely.
That's facts.
And the only thing else I want to comment on about survival mode, because I'm a victim of this today, and I told Chelsea that I'm stopping this. You can also become a victim to living paycheck to paycheck if you quit your job too often. So if you quitting a job and you using your job as a weapon, so let's say you got two jobs and you quit one of the jobs just because you know you got the other job to fall back on, and chances are when people get more money, they might go get something a little extra or something like because they feel comfortable, right? Even if you have just one job, some people will get so emotional, like this manager ain't finna talk to me, I'm finna quit. You cannot do that, because at the end of the day, you gotta understand that you have a mission to accomplish. Everything else should be white noise in the back, just talking, because the job is what's going to create you wealth over time. Wealth is not going to come just overnight. So it doesn't matter how many jobs you work in, you have to create longevity in those jobs to create the wealth, because you quitting, you missing your bonuses,
Yeah.
you missing all of the funds they put in your 401k, whatever you saving. You just missing the consistency of your paychecks, because when you start a new job, you don't get paid till like 2-3 weeks
You
after.
gotta, yeah, you gotta do like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So
Before,
it
yeah.
hurts your flow. And I'm a victim of that, because I realized that to myself. I said, that's what I seen. Like, if you quit too soon, that'll happen.
Yeah. Most definitely. So we done hit you with the social media pressures. We done talked about being in survival mode. We done
Underpaid.
talked about being underpaid. And we're talking topic,
Yep.
living paycheck to paycheck. This all helps you put things into different perspectives, and the things that you can control to change your circumstance, to better yourself, to change your
Yep.
mindset, to change your family tree, the trajectory. And this is for all of us, right? I'm talking to all of us, especially
Yeah.
the Black and brown community, because most of us are in situations where we are underpaid, um, and we had a different type of head start, well, different type of start, to where we're behind and still trying to play catch up from years to being oppressed
Survival
and the
mode.
things that we know,
Yep.
right? So we being in survival mode or whatever else. It all becomes a part of a mindset, y'all. And starting like today, it changes. You know what I'm saying? So if you underpaid, you living paycheck to paycheck, those are some things for you to chew on.
Yep.
What's the key takeaway for him, bro?
So the key takeaway is this: to defeat the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
you must align your own lifestyle and habits to what you are able to produce.
Yes.
Okay? So only way you're going to defeat living paycheck to paycheck, figure out your own lifestyle and habits. Your own lifestyle and habits, not what social media is showing.
How am I living? What am I
How
spending my
what
money on?
Yes, what do you like to do? What's your
Yep.
rich life?
Yep.
Align that to what you're actually able to produce. Be honest. And when I say produce, that could be earning another income
Yes.
from a business, an employer. That could be what you read and consume to further your knowledge. That could be the crafts, your creative mindset, anything.
Yeah, look, if you and another break it down in simplest form. You live in paycheck to paycheck. Want to talk about what you're able to produce? Look at you when you sit down and you do your month, do you do your bills, right? You live in paycheck to paycheck. Okay. You're trying to say, how can I stop living paycheck to paycheck? What's that gap there, right? Um, if if I need to make another $1,500 a month to get me off of that, get me out of that paycheck to paycheck thing. Okay, what can I do to produce $1,500? Right now I got a
Yeah.
number. Now I know because you got to know where you're at, and then okay, this is what I got to get to at least just get me off of paycheck to paycheck. So what can I do if I got another skill set, I got to hustle. Um, there's another job I can get. There's something else I can get to get that 1,500 because that 1,500 to really get that monkey off my back. You know what I'm saying? That'll
Yeah.
really get me above water. Okay, now you know I got to at least make $1,500 to right now to get out of being paycheck to paycheck, and you could produce that. Like say, get another line of income, get another job, another hustle. Do you detail cars? Do you do lashes? Do you do hair? Do you braid hair? Do you cut
Or
grass?
consuming knowledge to be able
do,
to get a skill
so,
set that'll
right.
have you get that job. Like
Or if we're talking
whatever.
about professionals, do you do consultant work on the side?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can there's
What
you know
can
what I
you
mean?
produce?
What can you produce? For sure, for sure.
Personal development, whatever it is.
Yes.
And the action item behind that, and this is gonna help you.
Yeah.
Analyze your lifestyle and habits, like what you do, what you buy on a weekly, what's your thing that you do that you do. Analyze your lifestyle and habits. Write down the actual costs you are averaging each month for your lifestyle and habits. Is that number greater than or less than what you produce a month?
Y'all gonna have to look in the mirror for that one. Really read that, y'all. Really, really dissect that too. Okay.
Tell them about
Dissect that.
the Uber Eats in like
Yeah.
a
So
story like
look,
that or
so bet,
something.
yeah, bet. Well, yeah, definitely I'm gonna break it down. And I gave bro this example, and I'm glad you brought it back to me. Um, that's why y'all be seeing me
You
write
don't have
stuff
to
down.
say no names. Just
No,
just
no, but
say,
look, no, I'm just
yeah.
saying, look. So, okay, when we talk about your lifestyle and habits, right? So before when you're in this rut, this paycheck to paycheck, you really got to look at why am I paycheck to paycheck? Am I being underpaid? Do I got crazy spending habits? What am I choosing to afford, right? So, and you can do this simply by just a couple. I'm gonna give you a couple low hanging fruits
That was a
that
good
you can
title.
work with. Number one, let's say if you're a DoorDash person or something, Uber Eats or something like that.
Like
Um,
a consumer though, not a
Yeah.
person that's
Well, no,
making
not that
money.
you're actually working for them. I'm talking about if that's what you do instead of cooking.
Yeah.
You like to order out a lot, right? So you're ordering out every day. You ordering out your lunches, you ordering out your dinners, whatever. You can easily run up five to six, seven, $800 a month in that, right? So
Without
boom,
you knowing.
I got $800. I'm just going low end. Some people way more than that, depending on what your taste buds
But
is
they don't
and
know
how
that though. They don't understand that they
they
doing
don't
that.
understand. So right. So while you already paycheck to paycheck, you looking like, how can I change that now? How can I get some more wiggle room now? How can I get some of my cash back in my money in my account now? I'm gonna just give you a couple low hanging fruits, like we said, Door Dashes. Okay, cool. Or Uber Eats or whatever else like that. If you ordering out instead of cooking, you ordering your lunches instead of making your lunches for work or whatever else like that. Okay, boom. Okay, then we're gonna get into let's say if you drink liquor, you know what I mean? Drinking liquor is a privilege. Um, that's not something you have to do. We're gonna go with Henny because I know the price of Henny. Um, so you go to get a fifth of Henny. Let's say every Friday you get a fifth of Henny. That's $50. You do that every Friday. It's 4 weeks in a month. That's $200 a month right there in the Henny. That just the Henny, not the mixers, not none of the other stuff.
They
Just the
drinking
Henny.
Hennessy, they ain't getting no mixer. But look, I want to nail this point down you just made because
Yeah,
that's what we trying to get you to understand. I, I don't care if you change your habits or not. I want you to
yeah,
be cognizant, understanding of what you
yes,
spending. Because if I
yes. Just
told you,
understand it. Yeah.
yeah, if I told you I can deliver you 4 bottles of Hennessy in a month for $200, You'd be like, no, I'm not paying 200 a month for Hennessy.
But you are paying
But you're doing
$200.
that.
You are paying 200, and you paying more than that because look,
Yeah, yeah.
let's really get into it. So that's already at 800, right? Let's say if you get 600 on the Uber Eats, you doing 200 on the Henny, and that's just the fifths. That's not the mixers. So we already at $800 that you've already freed up if you just got a hold of that right there, and that's something you really can't control. Not to mention, some people will go buy a fifth every Friday and still step out to the club. And you ain't bringing that fifth in the club. So when you go out, you buying some rounds of shots. You going, you get what I'm saying?
I'm
And
just
people
saying,
do it
man.
every
People
week.
just
But what I'm saying is, I'm not here to say that you're wrong. But what
yeah.
I'm saying, you were wrong with your thought process if you're not looking at the things that you can control.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because when you are living paycheck to paycheck, and you know you living paycheck to paycheck, even if nobody else
Yep.
around you know it, that's not healthy.
Yep.
You find yourself in depression, you find yourself upset, you find yourself easily triggered. And I'm telling you, this is the stuff that you can control. You find yourself being undervalued, you find yourself not being a confident man or woman because you know for sure you broke than a mug. And you know you
Yep.
paycheck to paycheck. And that's okay because we all done been there. I done been there, paycheck to paycheck. You understand what I'm saying? So I ain't coming from some high horse. I'm telling you, I know the feeling. That's why I'm able to break it down so much because I've had to look in these mirrors myself and say, get your stuff together. There are certain things that life is gonna life, right? Some stuff gonna happen, bro. You ain't gonna know what you ain't know that was gonna happen or come, and that may be a little. Some things may be out of your
Yeah.
control. I'm talking about the things you can't control. Be careful what you say you can't afford because you are choosing to afford something. Look at what you're it's before you say what you can't afford, look into the things that you are choosing to afford unconsciously.
Mm.
You don't even think about it. You got some money in your account, you got a credit card, you just door dashing your heart away, all type of stuff. You
Buy
know what I'm
now.
saying?
Amazon.
Amazon, you sit there, we all are guilty of it. They
Yep.
make it so easy for us in your phone and everything.
It's
You know
too
what I'm saying?
easy.
You can order every bruh. I order so much stuff from my phone. I don't go to the stores and Christmas shop and stuff. I'm pretty much I do it from my phone. You know what I'm saying? I can do everything I want from my phone.
This has gotten people in trouble, man. Just
Yes.
it's a you can
Yeah.
do business, you can make a lot of money on it.
It's
And
a
you can
gift and a
also
curse. You can get
so
lost in the sauce without social media. That ain't even social media. That's just the tools that are in these smartphones and
technology.
that we have readily available to us. So, y'all just always think of the things you can control and really, look in the mirror and write the stuff down that you're choosing to afford. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, man, you could just, I mean, I could really help people with that. And people can help themselves with that. To be honest, you're just looking at what you're choosing to do that you don't have to do. You don't have to buy eating habits, spending habits,
Yeah.
the luxury, the lifestyle, um, all of it, man. Living above your means. You know what I mean? I live. I like to live below my means. You get what I'm saying? Like I do nice stuff, and you've cracked on me about it before. And I know we're about to wrap it up, but you'd be like, man, you cheap. I am
Everybody
cheap.
gotta have that rich life though. You gotta know. That's I just say like know what you want to spend your money on. If you're gonna buy the Hennessy or you're gonna buy the DoorDash, whatever, you have to tally all that up per month, put it in month format,
Mm-hmm.
and then whatever that number is, add that to your monthly bills, and then go get that from the job.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it the other way. Don't just blindly go get a job that pays X amount of money and then on the back end spend the money. You out.
Yeah.
You have to add it up first, your lifestyle and habits, tack on your bills, and then go get that money.
Yeah.
Now
So
you in room to negotiate.
definitely. So, that was a good action item. Key takeaways, good points, man.
Yeah.
This was paycheck living paycheck to paycheck, man. This IOU redemption. This is the core of what we about. This topic
Yeah.
right here really hits home for a lot of people.
Yep.
And this is just, what I'm saying. I really was looking forward to getting into this, man. But, you know, until next time, y'all, man. This is IOU Redemption Podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm always tell y'all, make sure you like, share, subscribe, phone a friend, tell a friend. Word of mouth is the biggest form of marketing. We're here to get better with y'all. We under construction just like y'all,
Yep.
and we bringing y'all on a journey with us, and we speaking real truths, things that we done been through, man. This your boy G White.
Big speaker.
We signing out, man. Catch up with y'all in a minute.